Should you or should you not try to make a business from your hobby? In other words, should you be serious about monetizing your hobby? Yes? No? What if you could turn your hobby into a business? This may sound attractive to monetize your hobby. After all, what's better than getting paid for what you love doing already? I'm going to show you exactly, step by step, what you need to consider to be successful with this approach, and how this could actually backfire. If you're new here, I'm Jeremy Chatelain, founder of a SaaS business called Quickmail, which you can find at quickmail.io. I produce video every week about business to help you be more successful as an entrepreneur. So if you want to start your business with sound advice, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. All right, what's wrong with monetizing your hobby? Well, before I answer this question, let me take you one step back and you'll see why this is important. For a business to work, it has to provide value to someone else than yourself. Why? Well, because someone else has to pay, or you don't really have a business. This causes problems for hobbies that don't really produce anything, like traveling, playing tennis, or simply reading science fiction books. No one will pay for you to practice those hobbies. People may pay you for things that are derived from those activities, like a travel book on top cities to visit in Europe, online courses to improve your game of tennis, or 5-minute summaries of the best science fiction books you read. Okay, fair enough. So here is truth number one. A hobby must please you. A business must please customers. In other words, your hobby will need to produce something of value to other people than yourself. And this is not always easy. The skill sets involved in consuming an activity like playing tennis, for example, are very different from creating something like teaching other people how to play tennis. Plus, you may be bad at teaching and good at playing. You may even be bad at both. There are no requirements to be good at a hobby to enjoy it. For all I know, you could be terrible at playing tennis and still enjoy a game or two with friends during lunch breaks. Building a course to teach tennis in those conditions may prove quite challenging, to say the least, and you may need to explore different avenues to produce value for your customers. Now, even if you manage to find something people want to pay for, that doesn't necessarily lead to a good business. And here's the truth number two. Your choice of hobby may not give your business the best chances of success. You may in fact be setting up your business for a very hard journey ahead without even knowing it. If your market is too small, or the customers in that market don't have any money, it's going to be hard to be profitable. And this is no fun struggling for money with a business for years, especially given all the hours you're going to put into that project. Another point to consider is that businesses created from hobbies tend to suffer what I call the front store effect. The front store effect is when an entrepreneur tries to replicate a business by copying what has been experienced from a user or customer standpoint, instead of focusing on the foundations necessary to create such business, like great negotiation skills with producers, great hiring, great training, great management, and so on and so on. This often prevents entrepreneurs from actually building much easier businesses. In my mind, B2C, business selling to consumers, which is what everyone is used to experience because simply that's what they've been experiencing as customers themselves, is much harder to build than B2B, a business selling to another business. One of my personal hobbies is motorbiking. A ray of sun and you find me jumping on my motorbike, driving up and down the hills in my region. I love it. But would I consider turning this into a business? Hell no. It's no fun if I have to ride my motorbike, since freedom is why I enjoy biking in the first place. So here's truth number three. Turning a hobby into a business comes with some obligations that may well change the way you experience your hobby in the first place. Picture this a moment. Imagine you manage to transform your hobby into a business and you get to exercise it full time. There is a high chance you will want to start doing something else during your free time. And this is totally normal. It's like eating chocolate. In small quantities, this is great, you love it, but if you eat too much of chocolate, this doesn't become special anymore and you start craving for other things. Now the final thing to consider is, if you're serious about building a business, you will want to grow it. And if so, you'll need to outsource the main activities Otherwise, you'll quickly become the bottleneck in the operation. For example, you may have to hire a ghostwriter for your next book so you can concentrate on growing your business, like finding ways to acquire new clients or increase your revenue by upselling readers or negotiate better deals, and so on and so on. In other words, for your business to grow and thrive, you may have to stop doing the things you enjoyed in the first place. And this is incredibly hard. And one of the main reasons actually why most businesses don't really realize their full potential, including mine actually. Even for Jeff Bezos, for example, packed books initially at the beginning of his venture. If he hadn't stopped at some point, you would not have heard of Amazon, right? And I don't even think that Elon Musk built a single Tesla by himself. So here's truth number 4. A real business is so much more than simply doing what you were doing as a hobby. Acquiring customers takes time. So is putting processes in place, keeping track of inventory, evaluating technical solutions, managing external vendors, taking care of legal documents, setting directions for marketing, nurturing clients' relationships, managing your team, and so on and so on and so on, but you get the idea. The benefit, however, is to get to work in the same domain as your passion, and this is a big plus in itself. You'll get to engage with people who share your interest. Just make sure you didn't set shop in an industry with no money to be made. On my travels to Thailand and Indonesia, I met a few restaurant owners who were overseas retirees who invested all their savings into a business simply because they liked the experience they had as a tourist there. In the end, for hiring, managing employees, dealing with inventory, and customers accounted for a lot of work, more than they imagine. And they can't really sell it now because what they really built is a job. They didn't really build a business. So this may be hard to call it a good business decision. At this stage, if you're still looking to practice your hobby more often, here are 3 simple options worth considering for you. Number 1, find a job where you can do your hobby full-time. It's not very uncommon to find past founders in highly specialized jobs. When asked why they stopped working on their venture, a common response is that they just didn't want to deal with everything that came with it. Instead, they wanted to do more of what they loved. Number 2, if you have a unique ability you think is high value for your business, it could be, for example, your drawing style. Hire as many people as you can to support you in your journey, like a great story writer, someone to take care of publishing, and so on and so on. So you can focus on just one thing, the thing you love, and that brings value to the business. And 3, if you can afford it, consider doing part-time jobs or create a business that maximizes your freedom so you have plenty of time to practice your hobbies. That's it for today. Don't forget to check out 3 questions to ask yourself before starting a business, and I see you later.